just talk to them when they come in, but the slides are here.
Okay.
And she's got her iPhone. I can put it in.
Okay.
Get it ready.
Come on in here, Marilyn. Can I get you a bottle of water? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, you can have a seat and use the office as you wish. The washroom is down this way. Good. You're here, and the minister's here. That's good. There, we're set. People will come. Yeah. So, I don't know if you want to give Marilyn a lapel mic or no.
Is she the only one speaking?
I don't know about that. So why
Okay.
don't we just put it on the floor?
Okay.
You and I can test it. Putting it on here.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Yeah. Today. Oh. Get that ready. Well, you don't, when you're at the front speaking, you don't need to wear it.
And no mic, right?
No.
Oh, cool.
No.
Oh,
He's gonna put a lectern mic just here to pick up for the live stream.
Sure.
He'll put it on the.
Perfect. Oh, good. I'll take it over.
No, it's very acoustic in here.
And it's small, you
No,
know?
not, worried about that.
Okay, I'll just get here. Set up and do the old college. Hello. Right through here. How are you today, sir?
Hey, well, sir.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, that's.
Small chapel?
It is.
Yeah. Live stream today? That's good. Good. Set up here.
And I understand you can watch this at any time.
Yeah, afterwards, yes,
Yeah.
you'll be able to, yes.
We've got a slideshow going.
There will be, yeah.
There'll be dancing girls, everything.
Well.
That would suit Margie.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever she wanted. Oh, it's good.
Excuse me.
That's one of her paintings up there, I think.
Yeah, two of those paintings and one out here, and yeah, beautiful artwork.
Yeah, because, you know, all the things.
It is, I have to do this every.
You know what? I think if you find a spot, then you can, if you're 6 feet apart, can you
Oh.
take it off? Yeah, okay. So, you sit near the front, and then you can take it off.
Yeah.
Okay? Where do you want? By the slideshow?
I'll sit in here. I'll be in the way there.
We're gonna have the family seated on this side, so probably not right at the front if you want to sit on this side. Your husband?
At first I thought you were all
Oh, brother.
Big
Pardon me.
brother.
Big
That's
brother.
good. I'm darn it, you did. Then you can take it off.
Yeah, because you're 6 feet apart.
Yeah, it's all, my sister's got the same
Good.
one. Yeah,
How
yeah.
are you doing? How are you
I'm
doing?
all right. I'm okay.
It says something pretty, yeah, I won't go there, but yeah.
I mean, and he told me about it a couple of days ago.
You know, fabulous for a while.
He's new, Carlos.
Yeah, so, you know,
Thing is that
right before the town.
she had spots on her last 2 years forever.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
knew
well, not
that
when
there
it
was
was,
a.
we went
Yeah.
to,
Well, you can't
took
operate.
3 days to get there.
She's too money.
Yeah. So they didn't do any biopsies or
Nursing home,
anything?
but we made it work.
It was
Yeah,
inconclusive, but then they caused pneumonia.
The RD made it
When
a
we
lot.
did the test, they caused pneumonia.
Yeah.
So we're like, you're not doing that again.
Yeah.
It caused
Set
pneumonia.
up,
No. Anyway, but however,
You look tonight. You look like you're
I like
pretty.
finance.
It's darker than it was.
yeah, I dyed it.
Oh,
So it's more red, I don't know if you can see at the top. but-
yeah, well, I like your hair.
Me too. Very Irish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, we are gonna have a slideshow here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want more of
You're
a
welcome
vibe
to
of
sit
what
down
you
here
like,
and
but.
take that. It's so.
I don't get as uptight as some people do about this. And Amber was admonishing us, because Michael met us for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. well,
She didn't really
that's
approve of
pretty-
that.
or or late one. But I made
Well,
it.
I had a test before I came here.
And you're okay?
Yeah.
Yep,
Are you teaching from home?
yep.
Live life.
So you got a substitute in while you're gone? How long you guys staying?
I'm leaving tonight. Brendan and I are both flying out tonight.
Tonight?
Is this flash?
Brandon, good to see you.
Good to see you too. You know what?
Holding up well?
Yeah, I got the pictures of when you were putting on the London fog coat from
Oh,
Kathy. So I'll send them to you because that was the last time you got to be with Mom,
yeah,
right? When we came
Yeah.
by and you got put on that coat from Kathy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I mean,
You've been here a while.
yeah. Well, it was quite a
Maryland.
like run of luck, if you call it luck. But basically, what happened was that my mom, I came out on Valentine's Day, which was Sunday, rolled into Heidi's house in the evening, and basically by
You drove down.
yeah, with a friend. We spent the night in Revelstoke and skiing. And then when I got into Vancouver, I think it was that day or the next day. It was either Sunday or Monday. I'm pretty sure it was Sunday, where I was skiing. I'd like met a mom's in the hospital and she's having problems breathing and all that. And so she stayed there. And the day after they did say, no, you can't come and visit her because of COVID. You can't come. And then we got to the point where we said, well, this is bullshit. And they said that they needed this near-death like title to we said, no, we're gonna come.
Yeah,
Heidi saw her, then I saw her, then Heidi saw her again. So it was like 4 visits in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And the last day, I saw her and she was not really talking, but she sort of had her eyes open. I said, Mom, it's Bendy, like my little nickname as a kid. She gave me like a wink. And then she smiled a bit. And yeah, after I left, it was no more than 15 minutes later.
yeah. Well, I was just saying to Jennifer, it did not surprise me when I phoned and said that she died.
Okay.
But a couple of days later, it was just suddenly that everything was okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, we hadn't been so in touch with her for the last
Hello, Sheila.
2 years.
Yeah, and she wasn't happy at all. No.
It was a blessing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, to Calgary and hey. Oh.
Sheila.
Good to see you, Chloe.
How are you?
I got flowers in the car for you. I thought that was so
Sweet. Is that Amber? Amber said she had something. Brendan, that's from Amy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put this in. And this is for, hi there.
Hi,
So,
Dory.
Dory.
Yes.
This is the slideshow.
Okay.
If you want that on my USB, shall I
I'll
send it to you?
take it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Just, how are you doing?
Nice shoes.
Yes, those are my blue bug.
I'd be great.
Yeah, how have you been doing? What's that beautiful?
This belonged to your great grandmother.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. Wow, and it's got something small, really short.
I don't know what kind of stone, I don't think it's anything precious.
Yes.
I grabbed it
Aw.
because the mom gave it to me or something.
Yeah. Now, I'll just put this on.
Oh, you computer.
I know, right?
Somebody in there that keeps doing things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what it feels like? Uh-oh.
So mine of the phone. And I don't understand.
That's the right one. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's why.
Hi, Sheila. How are you?
You guys are getting so tall. Who are you? Oh my gosh, you're a young man. You were just little kids yesterday.
I know, right? They even did my clothes. They even did my clothes and shoes. Amy's got us on clothes that we've been today.
I never had that story, I had all boys.
So the iPhone is dialed in. So do we want to do all the, well, not rock, but we'll do the Beatles and the CCR and all that in the slideshow? Okay, so he has the phone in the closet too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then we should let him know that. The slideshow has its own music. So, okay. We're good?
And it's ready to go.
Yeah. I think we test it, or you just hit play, and then as long as it's up here, that'll kind of face back. And I think we have it at the full screen already.
But you guys check that it's all oriented, like what? Really?
How's your morning been?
Here's some updated. Yeah, so we just have to turn it on.
Good.
Turn on, open it, just a second, and then.
Cool, because we calibrated all the things and it's perfectly square. Cool.
Perfect.
It's locking the nice vacation.
Oh no, I think that's fine. Yeah.
I was telling my kids that I spoke to about mine parking lot, they all have some stories about them. They were in for birth certificates.
No, we had one, brought one that was made from Murder Rosemary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I'm 15 years, right on the other side.
I'm going to Graceland. Poor boys and girls and families, we are going to Graceland. My traveling companion is 9 years old. He's the child of my first marriage. I raise up to you, we both will be receiving Graceland. She comes back to tell me she's gone. As if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own head. As if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair far there. She said, losing love is like a window in your heart. Everybody sees you're blown apart. Everybody sees the window. I'm going to Graceland. Memphis, Tennessee, I'm going to Graceland. Poor boys and pilgrims and families, and we are going to Graceland. And I'm traveling back close to empty sockets. I'm looking at close to empty houses. But I'm reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland.
Slides are after that. Or did you want to slide first?
There's a girl in New York City who calls herself the human dragon. Sometimes when I'm falling, flying, tumbling and turbulent, I see the moon, so this is what she does. She is without seeing the Graceland. And I see the losing love is like a window in your heart. Well, everybody sees your home. Everybody feels the wind blow. Graceland, Graceland. I'm going to Graceland. For reasons I cannot explain, there's some part of me that wants to see Graceland. And I may be obliged to defend every love, every ending, or maybe there's no obligations now. Maybe I'm a reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland.
Or man over there. Oh, even you're so low over here.
Turn our phones off.
Graceland, Graceland, Graceland. I'm going to Graceland.
My god sister,
Brother,
brother.
say sister, but
Mike, would you grab me one of these Kleenexes? Sure.
you know, sometimes it's kind of hard to know what words to say here to start something like this, but we've all gathered to honor a woman who lived full out, right?
Right.
On International Women's Day. She would love this. She would love this.
Yes.
And for those of you who are joining us via the internet, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And just so you don't miss this, the whole family over here has matching masks.
Who knows that?
Yeah, yeah. which is pretty wonderful. It's a together group as well. But we've come to honor Margaret, who was on this planet for 81 years, and I think she lived full out. Wow, some of the things that I've heard about her I'm going to share, but I think the best thing, I read a sentence in a newspaper a long time ago that said the best thing that we can do when someone's passed on is to remember. To remember those moments which seemed like nothing special, to remember the family meals, to remember her as an English teacher that loved Shakespeare, to remember her as she painted, to remember her at the Halloween parties in the neighborhood. So I'm hoping that while you are here and while we were here, we will go, oh, I remember. She could make awesome roast beef dinners. Yeah. Yorkshire puddings, absolutely. She insisted that all the family knows how to ski, right? And that you all took music lessons, right? Not just at the beginning, but all the way through. And she said, you're going to do it, right? And you know what she was doing? She was giving you all just a wonderful, wonderful grounding. So Margaret, I know you're here with us in spirit, known sometimes as Margie and Margie, I think, probably more familiar. She is described as a beautiful woman. She was deeply spiritual, and the spiritual studies that she did really grew through the years until she acknowledged both the Eastern and the Western type of spirituality. That's pretty cool. She knew that this lifetime that we are here to serve God and our families very deeply. She was kind. She was warm. She would welcome friends that you all brought home with hugs, whether they wanted to or not, right? In my perspective, she was a woman way ahead of her time. She was not in any rush to get married. The right guy came along and wasn't married till she was 35, which was fairly unusual in her genre. But meanwhile, she had sports cars and boats and traveled. She made the best of it, didn't she? Oh my gosh, what a woman. Wow. So we're here with family, and to Heidi, Jennifer, and Brendan. You know her so deeply and so well as your mom, for sure. And we've got 3 grandkids here. Pretty special for you. And I know there are 2 more grandkids in Alberta as well. Wow. She was born September 9th, 1939. That was, I think, just as the war was starting. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. And she was born in Alberta, and then actually raised around the lake in British Columbia at kind of an orchard setting. You all remember that, I'm sure, yeah. Where there were not just 1 brother or sister, there were 5. Oh my gosh, that's quite a family. So first came Larry, then Sheila, then Patrick, then Margaret, and then Kathy and Mike. And we have Sheila and Mike here today, and we're actually going to hear from Mike what she was like as you were the baby too. Oh, I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine, 6 kids. Was the house big enough to hold everyone?
No.
No, I didn't think so. And did you pass down clothes from one person to the next at all?
Oh, no, we wouldn't do that.
No, oh no. But I understand there was always a list of chores and school. Your mom, Rose, was a school teacher, right? And then all of you were so smart that you skipped a grade, probably with the help of your mom, right? So education has always been really important, as it was to her, as she became an English teacher, for sure. She finished school, and then she had, well, during school, you know, in the local area, she had jobs in the Rockies, where I imagine she had such a good time, social, skiing, and she loved to hike in the mountains. She would often say, oh, I hiked here, or I did that. And then when she, I don't know that I call this settling down, but she became a key punch operator in Vancouver. She came to the Vancouver area in UBC to get a bachelor's degree, where she had to finally declare some kind of where she's going to go next. And English teacher, oh my gosh, that's amazing. She first taught in Ontario, and she was single during these early years, I think, and you know how life can change in just a moment. She was driving through Alberta in her sports car and had a flat tire and went into a pub to see if someone would help her. And who did she find there? Ralph, the love of her life. So they met and they were married when she was age 35, which is pretty cool. Yeah, she just did it for sure. And after they were married, she became more of a homemaker and certainly a mom. And that's where the three of you appeared. And in those days, you could not continue teaching as long as you were married and had kids. But she would still grade papers and work half-time or so, for sure. And so I think now we're just really, this is about remembering her. We're really honored to hear from the son she loved the best, Brendan. Her only son.
It was always so joyful and empowering to know I was Margie's favorite son. It was really no contest. I was the obvious choice. But jokes aside, what did my mom mean to me? As intended by nature, I've known my mom my entire life. My earliest memories are those which have the deepest sense of love, security, and protection. Having lullabies sung to me, my ears played with, my hair stroked, my feet tickled. This is an experience as a young child that will stay with me for life. The feeling is felt and it is stored in my being on a cellular level. My mother showed and continues to show me the ability to love and care from a place of zero expectations or any type of return. I find it fitting here to take a quote from the Bhagavad Gita to express myself further. The story takes place between two enlightened beings who sit inside a chariot that is in the middle of a battlefield. Arjuna asks Krishna, what is the highest path? Is it total love and adoration to the Blessed Lord? Or is it unwavering service and dedication to the Lord? Krishna replies, neither of those are the highest path. The highest path goes to those who have no intentions. The light is drawn to those who do not seek it. The greatest reward goes to those who seek no reward whatsoever. The wisdom from this Hindu scripture will be confusing for many and tangible for some. And what my mother has taught me was that this degree of selflessness is a natural state of being. As my mother being the ultimate mentor and guide in my life, anytime I enter into a condition of being selfish, greedy, or vengeful, my consciousness, my awareness tells me that I am scared. It is then that these lessons and assurances of deep, deep security and protection come flooding back to me to rectify the illusion of being lost. I could have not asked for a greater gift or truly know to the degree that my mother prepared me for engaging real life. Thank you, Mom.
I know she heard every word there. She's smiling, for sure. And now Jennifer.
Our most amazing mother, Margaret Ellen Horlacher, did such a great job of loving us, keeping our family laughing through all of the good times and bad. When we went through difficult times, she would tell us how much we were loved by herself and Dad. She would tell us how proud she was that we were her children and hold us and hug us. I cannot think of a week that passed by without a great big bear hug from Mom. As a mother now with my own 2 sons, I know how important it is for them to know they belong in a strong bond of family and that they can ask for a hug if they feel alone or sad or unsure of anything. Margie knew how to bring people together, either by sharing stories and music over a drink or by having a meal together where we all discussed the day's events. And then we all chipped in on cleanup afterwards. Having a cup of tea at 4 o'clock was a ritual, often accompanied by her tasty chocolate chip cookies or other delicious baking. She was a person to tell tall stories, for the sake of romance and adventure, and to include all the people around her as much as possible in the social experience that she would create. Mom made sure that from an early age her kids had got a lot of outdoor experiences. When we were little, we often were outdoor until getting called in for dinner at 6. In the early 80s, we were able to take a lot of wonderful holidays since she was a teacher and had that legendary time off. My fondest memories are of going to Hornby Island every summer. We usually brought a picnic lunch to Tribune Bay, and the kids would dig in the sand and play in the ocean for hours and hours, while she visited the moms who sat at the log with her. We set up a huge heavy canvas tent that looked like it belonged in the circus with its yellow and green striped roof. Hornby Island was a place full of magic for kids. We are so lucky that she brought us there year after year, summer after summer. Another wonderful vacation spot we got to go to was Nelson, BC, with Grandma Rose living close to Long Beach, Auntie Kathy, Uncle Jake, and our cousins down the road. Many weenie roasts and swimming at the beach in Nelson. The winters were spent going skiing in Washington State at Mount Baker. In 1984, we all started to ski. Brendan was barely 5 years old, but why not? What a better time to learn when you're young and nimble. We skied for $10 Canadian at Par, where we were there from 8 to 3, 4 days in a row. My mom often drove up the mountain herself with the tunes pumped up really loud. I was amazed at her fearlessness as I looked out the window to the depths of snowy cliffs plummeting below. We all gained an appreciation for the Beach Boys, the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, and Don McLean, and others 1960s classic rock that she loved and sang along with in the van. 2 families packed into the Dodge Ram meant that 8 of us were singing our lungs out and learning the words to songs from decades ago. That courage and carefree attitude gave me courage to be myself and to not care so much what people think, which was never hard for our mom. But it always seems hard for other people. I will continue to try and be the best woman and the best mother that I can, as I had you as an example, Mom, a trailblazer and a true feminist, although holding fast to many traditional values at the same time. She was the only cook in the house. besides spaghetti sauce from Dad. Mom, you embodied so many beautiful qualities. You were kind, caring, loving, but you also got the job done. You acquired a lot of knowledge in your lifetime and passed it towards us. You were persevering, and you know how to follow through on your plan and keep your word. You believed in fairness and doing what is right. Your balanced attitude towards life and all those around you was respected and revered. We will miss you always and see you in our sweetest dreams.
She's smiling. And now Heidi.
I have some words to share from myself, but before that, I just did want to mention we'd heard from so many family and friends that had known Marg, and it was so inspiring, and thank you everyone. Yeah, the stories were, maybe not all of them could be told in a venue like this one, but this one can, and this is a letter from dear friends of our moms, Merv and Rosemary. They were long friends from when she was an early teacher. Thank you, Heidi, for letting us know about your mom. She was such a wonderful person, so full of life and love for her family and many friends. Merv and I remember well her time with us all skiing at Big Mountain Whitefish, Montana, and some of the rather wild things we all got up to there. May I, though, share a memory of one of the many fun things she and I got up to, and perhaps you would like to share it with the family. Along with Merv and my friend Paulette, we were at the River Rock Casino attending a Creedence Clearwater concert. If you remember their music, it just made you want to get up and dance. It did not take long before Marg and I looked at each other and nodded. Let's go for it. While Merv and Paulette did their best to pretend they did not know us, Marg and I had a wonderful time dancing in the aisle, laughing, and having a great, great time. As you may remember, Marg and I were always looking for a little mischief, and we could always find something. I shall miss her dearly, but I have countless memories of my fun time with my very dear friend Marg. May she rest in peace. Merv and Rosemary. What is a life well lived? If it is measured in smiles, in laughter, in joy, then Margaret Horlacher's life was well lived indeed. How does someone lead such a remarkable life? Right there in plain sight. It is not a matter of pure luck or grace or divine intervention, although these things play a role. Leading a remarkable life is also a choice. The choice made to see joy in what an ordinary day can bring. A favorite song on the radio, sun streaming in through a window and songbirds chirping outside. A chance to grab the chubby little hands of a child and later a grandchild and to spin around the kitchen dancing. The choice to take a new job in an unknown city and to embrace that unknown with a sense of adventure and openness. The choice to meet new people with a warm and bright spirit. And even when life delivers pain, sorrow, tragedy, and hardship, the choice to accept and move through the raw emotions that accompany these events and to continue on life's journey with optimism and hope. Marg was someone who was infectiously joyful. She so naturally shared her love and warmth and embodied someone who lived in the world as herself. She did that easily because love was always at her core. Maybe these traits were present from our maybe these traits are present from our very beginnings and are germinated by arriving to life in the midst of a large family, a fourth child of 6, needing to make a place of one's own amongst others. That kind of a start would and did emphasize the need to relate to others, to Margie's sisters and brothers in Sheila, Larry, Pat, Kathy, and Mike, and to her much-loved mother and father in Rose and Joe Kieran. And that start established that everyone had a role to play in contributing to the family's success through hard work and perseverance. Also in this early life, Margie found ways to eke out her individuality. The bonds formed here in the Kieran household were strong and so meaningful, carrying on for always and shaping those relationships yet to come. This foundation inspired a smart, beautiful, adventurous young woman to move beyond Long Beach at a time when marrying a high school suitor would have been an easy and available path. And from there, a wider world was discovered. New friends, new ideas, new places and experiences. And this world Marg explored so easily, leaving laughs, new friends, and happy memories in her wake. That penchant to set out and explore took hold of what was right outside her door in these early days. When her first job as a key punch operator for BC Electric on Burrard Street included a free bus pass, Marg took advantage during her free time to travel everywhere those buses would go. A chance to see her new city and a chance to be away from the helpful sibling advice of the older folks she lived with. Once Margie's arts degree at UBC was finished, she knew an office job would be too boring, and so she passed up an offer to work as the Macmillan Bloedel librarian in order to pursue her teaching certificate. That was a natural choice, as her love and respect for children and teenagers was evident all of her life. And the vacation time around the school year allowed her to continue to explore and travel to Europe for nearly a year with her friend, another teacher, and later on many trips with that Burnaby Edmonds gang. During her single years, Margie bought a sailboat and later a sports car. She spent time with Mike and others. Life was an adventure, and this was absolutely a time for fun. Marg thought nothing of traveling alone, and on a road trip to Alberta had the fortune of a flat tire in the vicinity of Sylvan Lake, where a dashing young Swiss farmer named Ralph Horlacher offered to help. They were smitten, and their courtship soon led to their marriage in 1973. And so began another chapter in Marg's life as wife, mother, homemaker. In those days, there was no choice to continue working, and so she resigned her teaching position. She embraced this new chapter, and her ability to live in a very present way was a great gift, bringing a sense of fun and lightheartedness to our family. It's fitting that we're celebrating Marg on International Women's Day because she led her life in a way that did not accept convention as inevitable. Perhaps at times, her choices were puzzling for her family and loved ones, but she lived life being true to herself. And that ability to live life unapologetically, to be exactly who you are, that was a gift Margie shared with everyone she met, and perhaps more importantly, inspired others to embrace as well. To conclude, I want to thank my mom for sharing with me her remarkable life and for being a strong, independently minded woman whose influence equipped me to strive to live on this planet in the best way I can. She led me to understand that being true to oneself and relating to others with respect and with kindness can coexist perfectly. She demonstrated that if love is at your center and you simply let that love shine out into the world, you will not go too wrong, and indeed, you will go towards something so right. Margie, you are fiercely missed, but your unique spirit lives on in all of those whose love surrounds you now as you move on to something greater, to peace and to love and to light. I am so grateful to have shared in your life in the way that I did, and I'm so proud and honored to have been your daughter. Thank you.
Wow. Oh, a lifetime. Oh my gosh, she touched so many. And now from her little brother, Mike.
Baby brother.
What?
Baby brother.
But okay, not little, baby brother. Come on up, Mike.
You want your water, babe?
I'm okay. When I was first asked to speak, the first thing I did is I didn't know what a memorial fully entitled. So I looked up in the dictionary, and it says it's an occasion where you commemorate the memory of a person or an event. So I'm going to piggyback on everybody else's comments today, and dredge some of my memories, some of them, and because basically what I've got to say pretty well echoes what others have already said. These memories, I'm going to go back farther than the last 2 years, because I don't think the last 2 years really represented the kind of Margie that I knew for many years. It was a different person. So I'm going to go back beyond. There was talk of her love of music, and in many respects it was kind of a love-hate relationship. Margie took piano lessons as a child, and yet the only song I ever heard her play was Mockingbird Hill. I don't know if anybody's ever heard any other song but Mockingbird Hill. And now Mockingbird Hill is a pretty little sonnet, kind of a ballad, but in her hands it got a little more raucous and rollicky and more like a sea shanty. But it's the only song that I've ever heard her play. And she generally attacked it with more enthusiasm than skill. But she approached all the music that way, whether it's accompanying herself on a guitar or drumming. There's an expression that you should dance as if no one's watching. Well, I think her approach to music, you should play music as if no one can hear. But the way she did play music was infectious. Her enthusiasm, her exuberance, although sometimes misplaced, it was contagious, and after a while you found yourself basically joining right in. It just, yeah, she carried you through on to raised your enthusiasm. I guess we're all going to have memories of Margaret. One thing she was a very fun person. She was funny. She had the ability to have the most ordinary things happen to her, but they turned out funny. They really did. It was. I guess I'm put in mind of a story that was told by an aunt of ours. This was in Calgary. Now, Marg would have been 19, 20, working there. And this aunt was in her mid-90s when she told me the story. And she said it was the funniest thing she ever saw in her life. So, I don't know if it's appropriate, but we're going to go ahead with it. This aunt, our aunt, and Margie had decided they're going to take a bus trip from Calgary to Nelson. Now, I think my aunt had probably traveled with Margie before, So, but they made arrangements for bus, what time, when it would leave, the date, everything was arranged. But like I say, my aunt had trouble with her before, so when she got to the bus depot, she drew the bus driver's side and said, I think this person's going to be late. My traveling companion's going to be late. So bear with us. So that was fine. Anyway, everybody's on the bus, the baggage is packed, everyone's waiting, looking at their watches, waiting to go, and there's no Margie. And pretty soon she came ripping down the aisle, or down the platform to the bus, and got on board. Now, as my aunt tells me, there was a gentleman on the bus that was, I don't know if you've seen that picture, American Gothic. There's a fellow standing with a pitchfork and bald head. Very stern look on his face. Anyway, Margie got on the bus. Everyone's waiting, look at their watches, waiting, getting a little antsy about going. But for whatever reason, she packed her clothes in paper shopping bags. And as she's coming down the aisle of this bus, trying to hold this above everyone's head, one of these bags ripped open, and a brassiere fell out. And it fell across this fellow with a bald head over his head like a set of lopsided earmuffs. And he did not break a smile. He was stoic. And but the other bus, the people on the other bus, they cracked up. Anyway, they didn't. The only two people on the bus not laughing was this fellow and Margaret. I mean, because she just accepted this is a normal course of events. So she plucked the brassiere off his head, put it back in her pocket, and carried on. There's just so many stories you could tell about her like that never happened to anyone else. But I'm not going to. There's another time and another place for the rest. So anyway, I'm going to miss Martin. I'm going to miss her sense of humor. I mean, I think that's one thing we heard today. She was funny. She was really funny. She was fun to be with, and I'm going to miss that. However, I think she's now with Ralph, and I think she's happy about that. Thank you.
Ralph's been waiting for her for 20 years, right?
He did a lot of waiting.
I'll bet he did. And can you imagine when she finally, he met her. You got to know that, don't you? Well, what took you so long? Gee. So I'm sure they're up there smiling down on us and, look what's happening here. For sure. Wow, she just carried on, and when she retired, they got to travel a bit more, but then Ralph passed away, and she just carried on, didn't she? Wow. And Brendan, I just heard this about you. You took your mom in an RV, didn't you, back to Nelson, which must have been quite an experience, and that was within the last couple of years, right?
Last September.
Yeah, wow. Where she got to see her sister again.
Both her sisters, yeah.
Yeah. And what I heard about her is that as her health declined, she pretty much accepted it, and so I've got to know when it was time for her to go, she understood, and she knew that wonderful things were coming for sure. The last 2 years, as mentioned, were a little tough because she was beginning that journey, crossing the line, and so we get to enjoy all the wonderful times we've been.
Couldn't, is it?
Yeah, I'm sure. She wouldn't laugh. Yeah, right.
Couldn't, is it?
Oh, I can't imagine growing up with her.
It was an education.
I'm sure it was. Oh my gosh. And she would probably say the same thing about you, for sure. So we come to this time which sometimes it really hurts our heart, where we have to let her go as we have known her. You know, her journey has moved her on, and I think in her own journey there's a period that we go through where we know that we don't want to keep her around when it wasn't right for her, but the truth is it's the missing. It's the missing that gets to us. So I just hope you'll be careful with yourselves, and sometimes you gotta know it's okay to cry, you know. But she's fine. She and Ralph, they're having a good time. They're dancing a little bit, aren't they? And we will be the ones to remember. We will be the ones to remember, for sure. There's an Aboriginal culture that says, you're never gone as long as your name is spoken. So we will keep speaking, for sure. And so now there's a bunch of pictures here to celebrate wonderful times too that we're going to share with you. Oh, I love that picture.
That's got there. That was your road trip.
Yeah, Kettle Creek.
Is that house still standing?
Yeah, yeah.
Here's Mom and Dad.
I've seen that road before.
It's from Expo.
It always leads me here.
They sent her that picture.
Lead me
Right?
to your door. The
Is that Marlene?
Let me know the way. Many times I've been alone, and many times I've cried. Anyway, you'll never know the many ways I've tried. And still they leave me back to the long winding road. You left me standing here a long, long time ago. Don't leave me waiting here.
That was their ski bus. Yeah.
But still they lead me back to the long winding road. You left me standing here a long, long time ago. Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
It is pretty quiet, guys. That was in our apartment.
Yeah.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
She died during COVID too. That was great. Bring back some memories there.
You know, imagine this is what she would say to you all today. It's a favorite piece of mine, and it goes, "All is well. Death is nothing at all. I've only slipped away into the next room. I am I, and you are you, and whatever we were to each other, we will always be. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way which you always use. Put no difference in your tone. Laugh as we always laughed. Think, smile, and pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort, without a trace of a shadow on it. You see, life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is unbroken continuity. You see, I'm waiting for you, for an interval somewhere very near, just around the corner, and truly, all is well." What she was truly encouraging friends and family to do at the time of her passing was to just take time, and it might be walk in a beautiful place, but we're going to do that now, and just see the incredible beauty of life. So we're going to play a bit of, I believe, the Ave Maria right now. If you'd like to just go inside yourself and wish her well and send her off with love. So Margie, nice job. Think of all the people that she touched, every one of them. And for you who are streaming with us, thank you very much for being with us today. Truly, we will be the ones to remember. And Margie, to you we say, God bless, thanks, and God bless. I know you're having a good time, but because you're shining down on us. So God bless you, and so it is. Amen. So you're free whenever you're ready to come up and honor her and her ashes.
Laughing. Spilling hers ears on people.
You're now the matriarch. I've been carrying that for a long time.